In this episode, why macros matter.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 209 of The Daily Mother... The Swole. The Daily Mother Swole. Episode 209. I'm coming in hot off a leg workout, coming in hot off pre-workout, and I'm coming in hot for you. And this is an epic nutrition episode. So thank you for joining me. Remember, every day at 12 noon Eastern time here on the Facebook Live. You can also catch this on YouTube at Swolenormous, and also podcast, SoundCloud, iTunes. That's right. Any way you want to digest the Swolenormous, you can get it. You can get it right here. So thank you for joining me for episode 209 of The Daily Swole. Make sure you share this broadcast. I want as many people to come in as possible to get this information. And remember, the conversation can continue. You can comment after below. You can share this after below. Let's get the word out. The Swole is real and the BS is falling. The gauntlet's falling on fitness. The gauntlet's falling on fitness. And one of the things I want to talk about before this is that the live broadcasting. The live broadcasting is great because you can't hide behind photoshopped Instagram posts. You can't hide behind, someone else's video editing and writing. You have to actually show face. So anyone that doesn't have the stones to go live doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about and doesn't have command of what they're talking about. And that's not to toot my own horn. That's just the fucking truth. If you go live, like right now, if the roof collapses and this microphone falls on the floor, then it falls on the floor and we deal with it. And those of you that have been following me for a while, sometimes shit happens and it's kind of funny. But yeah, absolutely going to stay. What's up, huge dash? I like that. Just straight and to the point. What's up, massive human being? What's up, Israel? Just got here just in time. Yeah, so now what I'm doing is I'm waiting a couple minutes for people to come in because I think, Facebook, I have to let you know. Then you have to click. You have to go to a quiet spot because I'm probably going to say something offensive and you don't want your kids or anyone at work to hear. I'm straight crazy, dude. Effing awesome. You can swear, bro. You can swear. You can let it loose. I think you just signed up for premium, Chris. If you got the link after this, make sure you request access. Click the link in the in your email that you got. That way you can get into the group before I do the next broadcast right after this for premium. And those of you that are joining me now, make sure that you check out my website. Sign up for Swolenormous Premium until Friday at midnight. It's still going to be $4.99 to join in, and that's where we go more in depth and we actually apply what we talk about here in the Daily Swole. We get more into it. So right after this episode, right after we close out, by 1 o'clock at the latest, we'll be going live in Swolenormous Premium for premium members, and we'll be taking the nutrition a little bit deeper and breaking down into these labels a little bit more, what we're going to talk about right now. So episode 209, let's get started, shall we? Yeah, come on, let's get into it. Macronutrients. What are macronutrients? You've probably heard the phrases now kicking around fitness, the vernacular. If it fits your macros, macros this, macros that. Macros are elements. I'm just going to say that word, elements. I'm going to say things that it's easy to understand. Elements that provide caloric value. And calories are energy. Think about that simply. Calories are energy. Micronutrients are vitamins and minerals, things that your body needs and your body uses for processes and hormone production and all sorts of different things, but they don't provide caloric value. Magnesium doesn't provide energy. Vitamin C doesn't provide energy. Doesn't mean it can't make you feel better or give you more, vitality, but it doesn't give you energy, things that your body can use for muscle contraction and that sort. Macronutrients, fat, protein, carbohydrates, and alcohol. Alcohol actually does provide energy. It provides calories. The importance for calories to understand is the generality. And remember, going into this, everyone's different. Everyone has a different health history. Everyone has a different metabolism. Some people gain weight quickly and easily and have a tough time losing it. Those are called endomorphs. They kind of hoard calories. Some people are ectomorphs. They're very skinny. They can eat junk food every day. They don't gain a pound. And some people known as mesomorphs can kind of gain and lose, and they're more middle range body type. So you have people that are more round, people that are more skinny, and people that are about average. I'm a mesomorph. I could be both. I'm about average. Some of you are very skinny and have a tough time gaining weight, but more often than not, people are a little bit on the rounder side and have a tough time losing weight. So let's get into that a little bit more. Every gram of either protein, fat, carbs, or even alcohol provide a certain amount of calories, a certain amount of energy. Now, of course, what you do in your daily activities, what your health is like, what your body is individually like, will determine how that gets utilized and how that gets stored. So energy level is a big difference or a big deal. How often you exercise, what type of exercise you do, how long you've been exercising for, your body's experience with exercise, your body's efficiency at processing nutrients, what your goals are, what type of carbohydrates, eating Sour Patch Kids and a sweet potato, they're carbs, but the different types of carbs, so the body will react differently, not to mention the other sweeteners and stabilizers and things that could be detrimental in various degrees depending on who's consuming it. So there are many, it's not just also what quantity of food you consume, it's also what you're doing and what type of food is comprising those calories. So don't get swayed by the bullshit like, oh, you can eat whatever you want as long as it fits your percentages of carbs and protein and fat. That's a load of crap because you're getting artificial sweeteners. You're getting yellow 5, red 40. You're getting sucralose, aspartame. You're getting just all kind of starches and corn products and a lot of junk in those calories. So there's a difference between health and also the way you look. Bodybuilders might be 3% body fat, but they're juicing and taking growth hormone beyond belief. And they're also dieting so extremely low that they're dehydrated and it stresses out the hormonal, the endocrine system, and also just the heart. It stresses everything. Mentally, physically, people are wiped out. So it's not just how you look. You can look great, by society standards, or by, have abs and have, big muscles, but be extremely unhealthy, be kind of rotting from the inside out. To be honest, as an endomorph, I've always been jealous of mesomorphs. Well, you are what you are. And that's actually a good time to address that comment, Israel, on Facebook Live. You can be jealousy is you can be envious and jealousy, but at the same time, it's like you are what you are and you have what you have. So first off, you got to love who you are. You got to be happy with where you are. And that's why I talked about, if you guys caught my episode, I forget what it was 204 or 205, when it was the shame, body shaming, that episode on Daily Swole. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. It's a longer one, but it's worth it. It's worth it if you haven't checked out the body shaming episode. That you have to be happy with who you are and love who you are and appreciate what you have and appreciate being alive and being given the gift of being able to work out and, have a physically fit body or the body that can be physically fit. But at the same time, you want to be happy with where you are. You want to have good self-esteem and good self-image, but you also need to find that balance between wanting to improve yourself and being able to and wanting to be better. So it's not just, I'm happy with who I am. I'm proud of who I am and I love myself. That's great. But if you're overweight and you're unhealthy, don't just sit back on your laurels and use that as an excuse to be lazy. That's what I talked about in the body shaming episode. So it's a nice, it's a double-edged sword. Went to my kids' school. They had good and bad food examples. Bacon was on the bad side and corn was on the good side. Yeah, that's fucking ass backwards. That's ass backwards. Corn, they want to sell you corn. I'm not going to get into government subsidies of corn and everything right now. That's another episode, and I'll put that on the list. But that's a really, the corn. Yeah, I knew you would love that, Nick. Right? You jumped in and you saw that right away, didn't you, bro? The corn industry. And before I get, I'm going to get way off topic and start raging. But the reason, one of the big problems with society is that the acidity of food and corn is very cheap to make and government subsidizes corn production. That's why they break it down, use it for sugar and high fructose corn syrup, and they put it in everything. If you take a strand of human hair that eats average food, probably 99% of what they find in a hair strand is going to be corn. So you're getting a lot. Corn rage. Yeah, roid rage. Yeah, corn rage. And that just skews the body's chemistry, and that's a little bit off topic. So let's get into the macronutrients. That was a long intro, but it was still great information, and it just gives me more ideas of more things I want to deliver to you. So let's go into it. So 1 gram of fat, the mass. 1 gram of fat is 9 calories. You're getting the most energy, the most calories per gram for the weight in fat. So X amount of fat and X amount of protein or carbs, you're getting more from fat, more energy, but you're getting fat. So 9 calories per gram of fat. You're getting 4 calories per gram of protein and 4 calories per gram of carbohydrate. Believe it or not, alcohol is 7 calories per gram. So that's why when you drink a lot of alcohol, you can put on a lot of weight, because it's actually more than carbohydrates. It's actually more than protein. So you're almost getting the same caloric value from alcohol as you would from fat. So that's where you can really overdo your caloric intake. Good morning, Gina, or good afternoon, depending on what area of the country you're in. So you have these macronutrients, and you're getting calories from anything you're consuming. You're getting 7 calories per gram of alcohol. You're getting 4 calories per gram of carbohydrate or protein. You're getting 9 calories per gram of fat. And this is all listed. This is all listed on the nutrition labels, and I'm going to get into that a little bit more in Swolenormous Premium nutrition labels today, how to read them and how to start calculating what you're doing. And there are many apps out there. You have MyFitnessPal, and I don't even know half of them. I'm sure there's 1,000 of them out there now. But you can also find these things for your iPhone and Android. You can find these calorie tracker apps. The only problem is something like MyFitnessPal, where you have people that upload foods. Sometimes it might be hard to get an accurate breakdown of what you're actually consuming, but you can still put in what you're consuming yourself, but you can also scan items, so it'll help you calculate things easier. It'll show you pie charts and break it down. You can use it for desktop or for mobile. So it's a great way to track your calories. So whether you write it down in a book or you use an app on your phone, start doing that now. And I mentioned this before on Snapchat, before I came on here on my Snapchat at Swolenormous. If you're not following me there already, a little more behind the scenes information and, current updates onto what I'm posting and what I'm doing for the day, and, more like kind of vlog style stuff on Snapchat. And I was talking about people want to change. I've been getting a lot of messages lately, like, what do I do for nutrition? Well, what do I actually do? And it's like, well, what are you doing now? And people, well, I need to change how I'm eating. I'm eating like crap. Everyone's idea of eating healthy and eating like crap is different. My idea of eating like crap is someone else's idea of eating like all organic, super healthy vegan, probably. I'm like, well, I eat grass-fed beef. Oh, I slacked a little bit. I had a freaking, a bowl of peanuts. And someone's like, shit, I thought peanuts were super healthy and I'm eating peanuts all the time. And, I slacked. I had a cup of popcorn. And I was like, I eat a bowl of that every night. So, there's a lot of discrepancy when you have opinion. And thank you, by the way, everyone that's sharing this broadcast. Make sure you keep on sharing it and let people that in your circles know that we're live right now. So you can click share and that rocks. So I appreciate you guys sharing. When you're consuming calories, you have a lot of choices. So your opinions can vary depending on what your experience is, what your goals are, what your knowledge is. Okay. When you have a lot of people don't know how or a little too much until they track it. Exactly. So you don't know what to change unless you know what you're doing now. And that's what I'm saying. You might not know, you might know that you're eating unhealthy. And I get that. I'm sure you are. If you're like, I'm eating unhealthy, it's like chances are you probably are eating unhealthy and you got to tighten it up. Like, we're on the same page. Good. Let's get it started. And you're like, what do I change? What do I need to do? What? It's like, if I just like write you here, eat this, you might have food allergies or food intolerances. Like, how do you know how much you're eating? How do I know, or how do you know how much you should be eating to lose weight? If you don't know if you're maintaining now, what are you eating right now? How many carbs are you eating? How much fat are you eating? How much protein are you eating? How many total calories are you eating? Are you exercising? If you're not tracking now, you can't change anything. You're just doing something else. So you can see a lot of results right off the bat if you know what you're doing and you can adjust and make a smart adjustment right from the start. You can see, wow, I'm not eating enough. I need to actually eat more. You want to lose weight, but you could be eating too few calories and your body's in starvation mode, holding on to things. Caitlin, you can copy the link and share it in groups you're a part of on Facebook so it shares to more than just your wall. Share to inspire. Thank you, dear. Yeah, you can copy the link. When you click share, if you're on your phone especially, you can click copy link and you can paste that if you want to share it. If you're a member of another fitness group, I really appreciate that for sure. I really appreciate you guys spreading the word. So thank you for sharing. It really means a lot to me. That's even more than a like. When you guys like the stuff, I love it when you float thumbs and you make comments, but when you like it or when you share it, it's really, it's it really touches my heart. No, it really does. It makes me really happy because that means you want other people to see it because it's hitting you in the right way. So that means a lot to me, and that keeps me going. So thank you. It's like a lifeblood. So you need to know what you're doing now. So let's talk a little bit more about tracking. When you hear percentages like 40, 30, 30 or 60, 20, 20, this is the percentages. These are the percentages of your total calories. So here's how you take your total calories or take your percentages or get your macros. First off, you're going to look at the nutrition label. And I have a bag of Red Mill gluten-free rolled oats. And like I said, I don't have celiacs. I'm not, starting a war on gluten. Generally, the healthier foods I like to eat, generally I do eat gluten-free because I don't eat a lot of breads naturally. I don't avoid it like the plague, but I don't eat a lot of breads. I don't eat a lot of things with gluten in them. I eat mostly sweet potatoes and white rice, which are gluten-free anyway. They just don't have gluten. But gluten-free rolled oats, I just like this product. I like this brand. I like the way it tastes. I like the way it cooks. I just like the way it rocks. I get it at Publix. You can get it at Whole Foods. It's probably $6 or $7, but it's a bag of oatmeal. I mean, it lasts a while. So it's great. Purity tested, robust flavor, old-fashioned oats, rolled oats, whole grain, proudly grown, gluten-free, wheat-free, dairy-free, no shit. I love how they advertise dairy-free on oatmeal. It's like, really? There's no milk or, there's no milk on here. There's no, there's no cheese in my oatmeal. So if you look at the back, if you look at the nutrition label, and I'm going to hold this up on YouTube and on Facebook Live, you got the nutrition label that says serving size and servings per container. And then it says amount per serving. So when you're looking at the nutrition label, you're looking at total fat and cholesterol, sodium, total carbohydrate, sugars, protein, all that stuff. When you're looking at that, that's for one serving. That's not what's in the entire bag. So if serving size here is half a cup dry, then all these calories, let's say 190 calories, is what is in half a cup of this dry. So if I pour this into a measuring cup, half a cup, it'll be 130 calories. Okay. So let's say I have half a cup. Let's say I have one serving. All right. Well, let's say I have two servings. So if I have two servings, I have 1 cup. I just multiply everything by 2, 3.5 grams per serving. So now I have 7 grams I'm consuming. And if there's 32 grams of carbohydrates, I'm eating 64 grams of carbohydrates. And then if I'm eating 7 grams of protein per serving and I'm having 2 servings, I'm eating 14 grams of protein. And then what you do is you take that, let's say, okay, 7 grams of fat, you multiply it by 9. That's 63 calories from fat. And then you have 32 grams of carbohydrates. You multiply that by 4. So then you have, let's do the math, 108. You can check me if I'm wrong, 128 calories from carbohydrates. 32 times 4, 128. And then you have 7 or if you're doing 2 servings, you're doing 64 grams of carbohydrate. You multiply that by 4. That's 128, 256. You get the idea. You multiply it out. So then 7 grams of protein, 2 servings, 14 grams. If you're doing 2 servings of this, you multiply that by 4 and you have 56 calories from protein. You take those calories from each one, and you do that for the entire day. So let's say you break down how many grams of everything you're eating, you weigh it out on a scale, you calculate it, and you're consuming 2,500 calories, 2,500 calories. And let's say you find out all the calories from fat that you've consumed throughout the day. And you find out your total, let's say you're doing, doesn't even matter, 800 calories from fat, 600 calories from protein, and you're doing 1,200 calories from, I didn't even see if it added up, from carbohydrate. It doesn't matter. This is how you do it. You take the calorie total for each macronutrient. Let's say the calories from fat, and you divide it by the total number of calories for the day. Then you take the total calories you consume from carbohydrate, and you divide it by the total number of calories in the day. And then you do that same thing for protein and all that stuff. So you have a percentage. So the number might come out to 0.42. You multiply that by 100, and that's 42%. So 0.42 is going to be 42%. 0.33, that's 33%. So that's where you get those ratios, those macronutrient ratios, where it's 40% carbs, like the 40-30-30. When you see 60-20-20 or 40-30-30 or 50-30-20, you're getting 50%. That first number is carbs. The second number is protein, and the last number is fat. Carbs, protein, fat. That's how it's written. That's how people view that. carbs, protein, fat. So when people say, oh, what's your macro split? 40, 30, 30. That means that 40% of the calories that the person's consuming in the entire day is from carbohydrates. 30% of the total calories throughout the whole day is protein, and the last 30% is also, but from fat, okay? Now, this is going to depend what you choose, your total calories that you're consuming from each one, whether you choose a 40, 30, 30, or a 50, 30, 20, or a 60, 20, 20, or a 30, 30, or 30, 40, 30. Whatever you choose is going to depend on a couple things. How your body processes nutrients. What is your goal? And also, because what's your goal is also going to determine, be a factor in how many calories you're consuming total in the day, and also how you're training. If you're doing high intensity exercise and a lot of high intensity, a lot of heavy lifting, you better not be slacking and doing some low carb bullshit. You better not be doing low carb bullshit and high protein and high fat. You better be eating some fucking carbohydrates. Athletes, the general athletic breakdown is going to be 50 or 60% carbohydrates. Like an endurance athlete or someone that does 2 workouts a day, football players, they usually do 60, 20, 20, 60% carbs, 20% protein, 20% fat. They do very high carbohydrate because high carbohydrates they get broken down to sugar. Carbohydrates is what the body really, really wants for energy. That is why after a workout, when people just go and grab a protein shake, that's not good. And I hate to break it to some of you that are lifting a lot of weights, or after a workout, you mix your protein, you drink your protein shake, you better be getting some carbs in there. You better be shoving a candy bar in your mouth. You better be eating some Sour Patch Kids. You better be having a banana. You better be having some carbohydrates right after your workout, because the protein is not rebuilding your muscle right now. You need to resaturate your glycogen and your sugar stores and create a balance and resaturate the muscle and the liver of glycogen. I'm at 20. Well, now, see, we're at 20 people in here. Thank you for sharing. But guess what? Now I'm at 20. Guess what? I'm a greedy motherfucker. I want 30. We got to set some records here. Now we have something to aim for. Let's keep it at. You got to maintain it at 20. Let's keep it going. Fluff it. Keep sharing. Share it 10 times. So you need to make sure you're saturating or resaturating carbohydrates. You need to be eating carbohydrates right after a workout. If you had to choose between carbs and protein, a lot of you would probably choose protein. You'd have a protein shake. You'd have a muscle milk or an Isopure. I mean, it's okay to have some of that, but you need carbohydrates right after. You need carbohydrates. And John, you wish you could lose 30 pounds? Well, guess what, brother? Wishing ain't going to do shit. You got to do something about it. So this isn't a great episode for you. If you're just tuning in now, make sure you rewatch this. Protein is overrated. Protein is big time overrated as a macro. You need it, and you absolutely do need protein. But guess what? Your body uses protein to rebuild, but not immediately after it needs sugar. Your body doesn't need 300 or 400 grams, doesn't need 2 grams per pound of body weight. That's absurd. Your body can't process that much protein. Unless you're taking anabolics, you're doing steroids, your body cannot metabolize and synthesize that much. It doesn't need that much. Your body needs carbohydrates and your body needs fat. You need to start looking towards carbohydrates. Now, as the enemy, your total caloric intake can play a factor, but if you're doing intense exercise, you're doing weightlifting and weight training, you need carbohydrates. I'm not talking about intermittent fasting and all this stuff. I'm not talking about that. I'm not getting into that. You can try everything you need to try. You need to try these things. I tried doing extremely high, like almost ketosis levels, high fat, extremely low carb for a while. I would squat down to warm up and I would stand up and get lightheaded. I could not get past getting dizzy and lightheaded for doing weight training, so I stopped. I didn't like the way it felt. It didn't work for me. Intermittent fasting, sometimes I don't eat all day or I don't eat till later in the day, but I don't do it regularly. Because on the regular basis, after a couple days, it might feel good, and then doing it for extended periods of time, it does not work for me. I start feeling flat. It does not work for me long term, but I've tried it. So here's how you can generally, and this is the general classic. This is something that if you Google, you might see threads on this from bodybuilding.com from like 2006, 2010, years ago. This is like, when things really start blowing up. How to determine how many calories you need. You take your body weight and you multiply it by 13 for maintenance calories. You multiply it by 15 to gain weight, and you multiply it by 11 if you want to undereat and to lose weight and to shred. I mean, but think about this. How general is that? Just take your body weight. That's like BMI. That's like BMI. It's really, really general. But here's where it's a good thing. It gives you a starting point. Because let's say you're trying to lose weight. So you take your body weight and you multiply by 13. You get your total calories and you start eating foods and your macros. Let's say you do a standard 40, 30, 30, 40% carbs, 30% fat, 30% protein. 30% protein, 30% fat. Yep. 40% carbs. 40, 30, 30. And you multiply your weight by 13 and and you start gaining weight. You're gaining a little bit. You know, well, I'm eating too much. So then take it, multiply it by 12. Start breaking it down. It's very hard to determine because it's based on your activity level. And there's a lot of calculators. There's a lot of things that may help you figure out where to start better. It's possible. There's a lot of things out there that will take into account to activity. You multiply this. If you're really active, you multiply by 3. If you're not that active, you multiply by 2.1 and whatever it is. But bottom line, you still have to put it into effect and try it because you don't know how you're going to react to it. You still have to try it. You still have to apply. You still have to do it. And if you're consistent and you stay with it, this is why I want you to track. This is why I want you to pay attention to what you're doing, because if you pay attention to what you're doing, you write it down and you track it and you start gaining weight, then start eating less. Start eating less. And if you still keep gaining weight, then eat less. And if you keep gaining weight, then eat less. And you start maintaining, you're out maintaining. And then if you want to lose weight, eat less. And if you want to gain weight, you eat more. Just understand that let's say you're trying to bulk up, as you gain weight, your maintenance level goes higher. So then you might have to eat more and more. Or as you lose weight, you have to eat less in order to drain less. I'm not saying eat 1,000 calories a day, but you're going to have to eat more than you think you are, especially if you're training hard. But if you're lifting weights and you're building muscle, you need calories and energy to gain. Do not do these extreme 1,000 calorie diets, 1,500 calorie diets. This can help you lose weight, but you're going to get flat, and it could lead to malnutrition because not only, even if you're eating perfectly, you start getting too low in calories, you just won't get the volume of the macro and micronutrients that you need to replace and to replenish the muscle that you're building and the fatigue and repair. It's not about what you're eating today. It's about what you're eating tomorrow. It's about the repair, and it's about the consistency. So start tracking. Start USA, yeah, bro. You start tracking. Start writing that down. Download an app. You could try MyFitnessPal. You can try any slew of nutrition apps. Find one that you like. I've used MyFitnessPal in the past. I don't have any I particularly recommend right now. There's a bunch out there. Find one that works for you. If you have any questions, you could post below here. Now, what's going to happen now? It's about 12:45, 12:50. I'll stay for a couple minutes after if anyone has any real pending right after, just to wrap it up. This has been episode 209 of the Daily Swole. Freaking epic nutrition episode. I know it's a long one, but this is gold. Those of you that are members of Swolenormous Premium at 1 o'clock, those are members of Swolenormous Premium. I'm going live. We're doing a live broadcast in Swolenormous Premium in the private Facebook group. We're going to break down this label a little bit more. We're going to talk a little bit more about that breakdown and how it's going to apply and how to really get started. So I'm going to talk a lot about this and get a little bit more in depth. We're going to talk about fiber. We're going to talk about all these things in detail. So if you are interested in becoming a member of Swolenormous Premium, it's an exclusive private Facebook group that I have here. You can sign up on my website, Swolenormous.com. And right now, and today is Thursday, tomorrow at midnight, the price is going up for premium because we have a lot of people joining in. Right now, it's $4. It's crazy, and 99 cents a month. $4.99 a month until up through, and that's forever. And that price will not go up for you, I promise. $4.99 a month if you sign up before midnight tomorrow on Friday. And what we do is weekly accountability meetings every Monday. We do a few times a week. We do follow-up episodes in Swolenormous Premium after the Daily Swole, so we go more in depth. And it's a lot about program design. It's a lot about applying this information. So a lot of times on the Daily Swole, I answer some questions and we get, talk about certain things, but Swolenormous Premium is about applying that today and applying that immediately to your workout, honing your program, developing your program, getting a little bit better, and a lot of instant feedback. So we have a lot of members that post up questions, like, your post on a Facebook page on the wall, and I get back to that, really quickly. So it's like premium access to myself, premium access to information. There's exclusive videos. My ebook is in there. So you get a lot of access for $4.99 a month, and it supports me a lot. It helps keep the Daily Swole going and going strong. So thank you for joining me here. If you want to continue the conversation, go to my website, Swolenormous.com. On Facebook, on my Facebook page, you can click right above this, I believe. It's probably right above this, the sign up button. It'll send you to my website, and it's all done through PayPal. So it's super secure. It's super awesome. And then you fill out the application, gives me a little health history, a little background on your experience and what your goals are. And then you get an email where you'll get a link where you click and you'll request access to the Facebook group. So you'll have about 10 minutes right now if you want to continue this conversation on nutrition in Swolenormous Premium. You'll have a few minutes where you can sign up, super simple, and we will get started. So thank you for joining me for episode 200 and the nueve of the Daily Mother Swole. I'll see you tomorrow, obviously, at 12 noon Eastern time for episode 210 of the Daily Mother Swole. Check me out on Instagram. Follow me for the rest of the day on Snapchat. I got vlogs coming. I have an exclusive, a brand new leg workout video, collab video that I did today that will be coming in the next couple days. So a lot of great stuff. Let me see a flex, homie. See, the thing is, with Facebook Live, I got to go off the side. Boom. It's always the biceps. No one gets to see the quads. But you can check that out in the video. So check out my YouTube channel. We get a lot of exercise videos. Got almost 700 videos on YouTube. So if you're not checking me out there, at Swolenormous on YouTube, type it in, Swolenormous, all the daily swoles, driving while gaining, exercise videos, freaking everything, vlog series, all on YouTube. So check me out, subscribe there. Thank you for the support. See you all mañana. Watch the Spotlight video, another one on Spotlight Sunday, another Spotlight video coming. So let's keep it rolling. This is the holiday season. You got to stay on point. Thanks for joining me. Peace.